One of the questions that I had for you, I don't know if you can illustrate it or quantify it, but in a situation like that, in a war zone, in a place that's been brutalized for so long, obviously there's some resourcefulness that emerges, and we were just talking about the old shipping containers. What were some other examples that you saw that kind of struck you as, some ingenuity at work?
Oh, wow. I was really amazed to see the carpentry workshop that the women were running with some help from the Care Canada organization. These women are learning a trade, and the Care people are teaching them lots of trades that you would associate with women, like food service and baking and that sort of thing, but they're also teaching them non-traditional trades and trades that not even very many women here are doing. I mean, how many women carpenters do you know? And these women were learning how to make buildings and office equipment in this workshop that was really just a great big tent, and it looked like they just strung up fabric over it must not rain there very much, but you wouldn't want rain in these machines. They had these great big saws and lathes and this sort of thing, and they were making these window frames and door frames in this sort of uncanny place with these gigantic tools. And for the water, they were, I think I have a picture on our website, but they were drawing water from a well that looked biblical.
Yeah, no, that you do have that image.
Yeah, and they use the same well water for cooling off the tools and making tea. So it was just incredible.
As you were saying, you didn't get to really get out of the city.
Yeah.
Did you still see examples of gender apartheid, maybe Taliban law, where people might have been still scared to come out of their shell?
Probably. I did see more women in burqas than I expected to see. A lot of women were not, but a lot of the poor women did wear their burqas. A lot of the cleaning staff and just women shopping in the market. And I asked about that. I found that you have to be very careful as a Westerner. Like the MPs, for example, that I spoke to who do not wear burqas were the most vocal women I met in terms of women's rights. They also were clear that, in some cases, and they certainly agreed that a lot of women probably wore burqas out of fear. Fear of that they'd be reprimanded by insurgent elements and that sort of thing, but that some women wore them out of choice and that they should be able to do that. So there was that, and there's no question. I mean, I never personally saw a female police officer. I know they exist, but I didn't see any out, patrolling around. But on the other hand, I met lots of male vets. Like veterinarians who were helping women achieve some self-sufficiency, that was very nice to see.
Oh, you mean perhaps in areas like animal husbandry or
yes,
farming?
Exactly, exactly. So there are a lot of men who are committed to women's rights as well.
Actually, that's what was my next question. Did there seem to be a contingent of men that realized that this kind of progressivism would benefit them as well? I mean, not out of self-interest, but just out of rebuilding the country.
Definitely. Yeah, I would definitely say that. And there was also some self-interest as well. There were men who were very glad that their wives would be able to contribute to the household income. So they were very grateful for these kind of programs as well, or who wanted their wives to be literate. I think there was that, yes, the self-interest, and also just the sense that this was progress and it was good for everybody.
So there has been, we know that there's been a resurgence with the Taliban. What has a general feeling I mean, does the city feel like it's in its own enclave or state of lockdown?
I think they go about their business. I think people go about their business. I think they're incredibly resilient. They don't like to... I think there is certainly... and some people that I talk to, there's some, feeling of discouragement, but there's also a sense of like, we've seen it before, it ebbs and flows, we'll keep on fighting, we'll keep doing what we can do.
Yeah, and I guess that would be, after so many years, that would pretty much have to be the mindset.
Exactly. And it's like, what else can we do? I mean, here in the West, we talk about, should we pull our troops out? Should we get our aid people out? So on and so forth. But for the people who are there, they don't have a choice. They're there, and for the CARE organization in Afghanistan is 1,000 people. 900 of them are Afghans, and they're very committed to making life better for other Afghani people.
And you bring up another completely relevant and interesting point. We've just had an election, and one of the issues was our presence in Afghanistan. So as somebody who, I don't know what your position was before going there, coming away, what conceptions that you had were changed by your visit?
I think, I don't think my position was changed. I think it's a good thing that we're there, if only because we promised NATO that we would be part of it. And I think that is a good reason to be there. And my view before going was, having read a lot on a lot of things written by military people and what they saw that they were accomplishing there, I thought, well, they're there, they know better than I do. So I was sort of open-minded about it. I wasn't like, we should get out. I liked the idea, though, of having a strategy. After being there, I didn't feel significantly different, but I had a much greater sense of what a complicated and huge issue it is. Like, it's not, and a sense that it's not, I've read a lot of opinions that are around, well, we can't win this war. This isn't a war we can win, or how would we win it? After being there, I really had, and having, done all the research that I had to do before and after I went, really had a sense that we can't talk about winning or not winning in the sense that we might have been able to talk about it in the Second World War. That it's not, there'll probably never be a point in time where we can say, okay, we're done here, we won, we can go home now. That really what we're doing there is contributing to a long-term strategy that will bring some measure of stability to that area, but I don't know if we'll ever be able to say, well, we won. And I don't even think that we can say, well, we'll have won when we have imposed our view of civilization and democracy, because I think they will develop their own. And I think if we can provide any help in doing that, I think we should. I'm less certain in my mind about, what form that help should take. And I think it's a complex matrix of military security, relief, and development. And the quibbling really comes down to what role you think each of those should play.